The Chicago Bears are now 3-1 on the year through 4 games after picking up an impressive win against their division rival, the Minnesota Vikings. What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports now back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Bears and break down their next game and give you guys a preview and a prediction for their next game against the Oakland Raiders in London, by the way. So before I do that, if you're new to the channel, welcome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure to go ahead and subscribe and support the channel. It really means a lot to me and helps me out a lot. So go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell icon to be notified every time I drop a new video, because there's weekly videos you don't want to miss out. And go ahead and follow me on my social media, guys. Links down below in the description and on the screen for that. So go ahead and do all of that, guys. Here to break down this week's preview for the Bears versus the Raiders. So let's start like we always do with the numbers, okay? The Bears are favored by 4.5 points in this game. It's a 41 total, so not that high scoring, actually relatively low scoring. And again, as mentioned, this is not a home game for anybody, technically, because it's being played in London, okay? And here's my quick, thoughts on London games. I'm not a big fan. Again, if anybody from the UK is watching, if I have UK subscribers or fans out there, I'm not hating. It's not that I don't like UK. Actually, I want to visit. I want to go to London. I do. It's just that when, we have these London games, it's not a home game for anybody. And I feel like it's always tricky to tell how teams are going to play. You have a long flight to London, and it's just the travel and everything else. To me, it's just, I just wish we didn't have it. I wish we didn't have these London games. I know the NFL is trying to expand. I get all of that, but it's just, to me, I'm just not a big fan. Like I said, no hating on London, by the way. I love you, my UK subscribers. If you guys are watching, please let me know down below if I have some UK subscribers. So with that being said, just personally, I'm saying that. But as far as, these two teams themselves, the Bears are clearly the better team. That is why they're favored. I'm not surprised by this line at all. And this is even with the Bears starting quarterback Mitchell Trubisky being out for this game. Now, he's listed as doubtful, but I am telling you right now, 99.9% he is not playing in this game. He's got a dislocated shoulder with a torn labrum. He is going to be out for sure because the Bears have a bye week in week 6, and they're going to let Mitch rest and heal up so he can return in week 7 against the New Orleans Saints. So Chase Daniel is going to be the starting quarterback for this game, and he played pretty well. Very well, actually, I should say, in relief of Mitch against the Vikings. I'll get to that in a second, but just real quick, the Raiders now are 2-2 on the year. They're coming off an impressive road win against the Indianapolis Colts, in which they proved me wrong because I had the Colts in that game. So props to the Raiders. We all know what the Raiders went through this offseason with the entire AB Antonio Brown saga, and they played some decent football, folks. I'm telling you right now, like, a lot of people through 4 games probably would have thought the Raiders were going to be 0-4, and they're 2-2. And if I'm a Raiders fan, I'd be feeling pretty good, because you're talking about 2 good wins against 2 good teams. Well, Denver, people thought it was a good team. They're 0-4, but Indy is certainly a decent team. They're decent teams. They're not like bottom feeder teams, okay? So Derek Carr, the quarterback for the Raiders, of course, his stats so far: 6 TDs, 3 interceptions, about 888 yards on the year, a 96.7 passer rating. He's been relatively decent. Had a couple of good games and, of course, a couple bad ones in there. The Raiders actually have a youth movement going on, because their starting running back and starting tight end are both rookies, and Josh Jacobs, who's got about 307 yards on the year, averaging 4.95 yards per carry, and then Darren Waller, their stud tight end, who's got 33 catches for 320 yards. Okay, so the rookies have been phenomenal for the Raiders, and I'll get to them in a second, don't you worry. And then, of course, their new de facto number 1 receiver, Tyrell Williams, is been pretty good in relief of AB. And I shouldn't even say relief. He took over the number 1 duty that Antonio Brown was supposed to be. And he's got 4 touchdowns on the year already. So Tyrell Williams has definitely stepped up and showed out for the Oakland Raiders. So let me start with my first key in this game. Yes, I sound like a broken record. Run the football. I've been putting this key as my 3rd or 2nd key in my other videos, but now I'm fed up. I've had enough. I'm putting it as my first key Folks, run the football, Matt Nagy. Now, I shouldn't really get on him this much because technically David Montgomery got the ball 21 times last game and he only got 53 yards out of it. But numbers can be deceiving, okay? Numbers do lie because they were all carries that he's gotten in garbage time. That's 2 games in a row where he's got the majority of the carries in garbage time against the Vikings and then the Redskins, okay? So I need David Montgomery to get these carries early on so he can establish a rhythm. He can basically, set up the play action. The Bears can take some pressure off of Chase Daniel. This needs to happen. Now, how do you beat the Oakland Raiders? Okay, because they've lost 2 games, right? Our division rival that we just beat, the Minnesota Vikings, destroyed them in week 3. They stomped on them, okay, 34-14, and they ran all over the Raiders. Dalvin Cook did, okay? He had like 110 yards, 16 carries for 110 yards against the Raiders, and David Montgomery can do that, okay? I'm not saying he's as good as Dalvin Cook, but he can do that, and I need them too. Now, here's my thing. Chase looked good, okay? He looked good in that game versus the Vikings, but I don't want Bears fans to think that Chase can go out and just do that every single game because he can't. He's a backup quarterback in this league for a reason, okay? He's been a backup for a very long time, and we've seen the story before, folks. Last year, he started 2 games for the Bears, played well in one, didn't really play that well in the other one. So I want the Bears to kind of help. And again, when I say Bears, I'm talking about Matt Nagy, the man who's calling everything. I need Matt Nagy to help Chase out by running the football. Please, 20-plus carries, again, for David Montgomery. But when it matters, you can run on this Raiders team. The Minnesota Vikings showed you how. It keeps the ball away from them. It sets up play action. It helps Chase out. It does everything you need him to. Please run the football. Key number 2 for the Chicago Bears in this game, the pass rush. And yes, that is right. It is a return of the Mac truck, the Mac Daddy. Khalil Mack is facing his former team, the Oakland Raiders, and you can bet your money he is going to be fired up and hyped about this one. I feel bad for Derek Carr. Oh, do I feel sorry for Derek Carr. He is going to have a miserable time in London because Khalil Mack is going to make his life very, very miserable, okay? I predict Khalil Mack is at least going to get 2 to 3 sacks in this game. He's been chomping at the bit to be able to play his former team that didn't want to pay him, that traded him to the Bears, which I'm very happy about. No complaints there, by the way. But Khalil Mack is going to show up and show out. And more importantly, you can take a look at the fact that Derek Carr is a quarterback that needs to get the ball out quick because he doesn't have a big arm to throw it deep. And the pass rush needs to be there for the Bears because they are going to negate Derek Carr from his quick dump-offs, quick passes where he's, dinking the ball down low, to his slot guys. And Derek Carr is going to get pressure in his face and he's going to fold like a cheap tent because that is what the Bears defense does to all these quarterbacks. And they did that to Case Keenum. They did that to Kirk Cousins. And I like Derek Carr. He's better than both of them, but he is not that much better. So I believe that the pass rush is going to make life hell for Derek Carr. And that is what they need to do because that is what we've done to get these, last 2-3 wins. So the pass rush is going to be key. I don't know if Akeem Hicks is playing this game. I believe he will be. We don't know the status of Roquan Smith either, but let's hope he's in this game. I think he was out last game for some personal reasons. I might talk about that a little in a different video. But I'm looking at Khalil Mack that, it's going to be on him. Roy Robertson Harris played pretty well last game. But this defense, this pass rush, this D-line is going to show up and show out and stop Derek Carr from catching any sort of the rhythm. Now, finally, my third key for the Bears in this game, force the ball away from Waller and Williams. Now, I alluded to this a little earlier that Derek Carr basically looks at 2 guys and 2 guys only. Darren Waller, his tight end, and Tyrell Williams, his number 1 wide receiver, okay? They're essentially done all the damage that the Raiders have offensively, and Derek Carr really doesn't throw the ball to anyone else. So you take away his bread and butter, you take away his security blanket and his tight end and his number 1 wideout, and I am fine. If Derek Carr drops back and throws bombs all game and he's able to beat you. Okay, if that is how the Bears get beat, I'll take it. But I am betting against it because he won't be able to do that, okay? As far as Josh Jacobs running the football, I'm not even worried, folks. You can't run on this Bears defense. I'm not worried the least bit, okay? So the run game, it doesn't even matter, okay? If you try to throw, take the ball away from Darren Waller, who's a very good rookie tight end, by the way, and take it away from Tyrell Williams. So I need the secondary, obviously, for the Bears with Kyle Fuller and company to swallow up and spit out Tyrell Williams so that he can't do anything in this game. And then the middle of the field with Darren Waller, where Derek Carr's going to try to get those easy checkdowns. I need the Bears to take that away. So our linebackers need to step up in this game. So like I said, we do that. I believe the Bears get this. Look, I'm not saying the Raiders are going to be a pushover. I believe they are going to be better than we expect. The Raiders are not an easy win. They're really not, because like I said, they've played relatively well this year. So I don't want the Bears to just gloss over this game. But I truly do believe that the Bears will be able to do these things. The keys that I listed out, they'll easily be able to win this game. So what is my final score here? I do have the Bears winning this game, but I'm going to put some respect on the Oakland Raiders in this one. I will actually take the Raiders with the points here. Okay, I'm still picking the Bears to win this one, but the spread is 4.5. So give me the Bears to win this game 21-18. But I do believe that the Raiders cover here. So that is my score prediction, folks. A London game. Let's see what happens. But I believe the Bears go into the bye week 4-1. And I'd feel pretty good about that, folks. And then, of course, we can talk about that after. But no Mitch Trubisky. We'll still have Chase, obviously, starting. And hopefully we'll have everybody back on our defense. But I believe the Bears should be able to win this game against an Oakland team that's just not as talented. Obviously, on the defense side of the ball. And then offensively, they're arguably not as talented either. So there you have it, folks. My full breakdown for the Bears versus the Oakland Raiders. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Thanks for watching.